Kasituko Maya Nasya. Today's question is, how do I deal with loss of a loved one? Kunayamana Sutta Kunaya Nasya. All right. This is a great question for those who want to create change. If you want to mask symptoms, this isn't the video for you. If you want to create real change in your life as a result of someone passing or dying, this is the place for rebirth. So I'll get right into it. You are eternal light, you are source light, so are they. They have not died, they have changed frequency, so they are no longer vibration in matter, okay? They are still a part of the eternal planes. They have not left you or me or anyone from that matter. They have merged with themselves. And that merging, that navigating the quantum soup to take themselves home is very, very real. It doesn't mean they have died. It means they have transitioned planes. That knowledge in itself doesn't necessarily help you come to terms with grief. It may to a certain extent, but the reality of the death process is that it leaves certain people behind in physical form, and that abandonment, so to speak, is very real for us. We feel their loss. We feel the grief associated with that, especially if it's someone that was day to day and close. Now, let's take the approach here that you know your eternal light, you know that your source, you know that your love, and everything around you is. If you knew that was to be the truth, you wouldn't feel their loss. It wouldn't be mourned. You would celebrate their death. You would celebrate their transition process. You would celebrate that they were merging fully with eternal light again. It's not the case for most of us. It just isn't. We will feel the darkness and the depths of pain as their soul no longer resonates and vibrates with us here on the earth plane. In that case, when you're experiencing that amount of grief and that amount of suffering, you have to allow it to come to pass. Don't push it out with drinking or with addiction or bypassing it, having the soul look somewhere else to fill its needs. We can jump into another relationship if we've lost a loved one to cover that grief. We have to take the time to mourn and to really feel that aspect of the soul. So that grief and that suffering then becomes no longer pain. It becomes part of our existence. And then we can choose it if we want. Grief then becomes a choice. It becomes an option. Mourning someone does not. It means you forget that they are eternal light, just as you are. So when we go into mourning, it's not that it's not necessary for a certain amount of time, but at some stage you want to come out of that and you want to recognize that they too are eternal light and they're in a much happier space. Regardless of what you think or feel about the situation, they're doing okay. Much better than okay. You, though, must make amends. You must come to peace. You must come to terms with the energy of grief. Grief does not want you to push it away. Grief wants you to let it in. Grief wants you to know the space where you don't abandon it anymore, push it aside, kick it to the curb. That doesn't feel good. You're out. Grief is fully about activating the eternal space online. When you know grief as deeply as I do, when you know suffering to the nth degree, you get to come out of it. So don't avoid it. Dive in. Embrace its energy. Welcome it as a fact. And when you feel the real depths of pain and suffering, you'll come back to the space where you are one, where grief and joy are just both simple facts. It's part of who you are as eternal grace. That level of awakening, that level of sadness is not necessarily for everyone. Some may want to cover the space. They're not ready to grow up in this spiritual way. For those that are ready to evolve past the earth plane and back into the eternal state, grief has got to be just as much of a gift as joy. Sutta Kunayana, Sutta Kunayana, Sutta Kunayana.